In this video, we will explore a fascinating and dark side of the isekai genre, with some series that have completely changed the way you view this type of story. After all, while many isekais are known for their light plots, filled with comedy and action scenes, there are works that take us to darker and more disturbing places, where reincarnation doesn't just mean new adventures, but a true nightmare. And since we're on this journey together, feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. It helps us continue bringing more content like this, and your interaction is super important. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the isekai series that have redefined the genre. Starting off our list, Zero Starting Life in Another World is the first to be mentioned. When you hear about isekai, you might imagine a strong hero surrounded by friends and on a heroic mission. But Subaru, the protagonist, has a terrifying ability. He can return to life, but each return is marked by pain and suffering. Imagine going through a horrible death, only to come back and remember everything. The emotional weight in Zero is intense, and the fact that Subaru is the only one who remembers his experiences makes him a tragic character. These experiences create moments of pure emotional catharsis, making the audience question what it really means to live in a new world. Next up is Overlord. This series begins as just another isekai story, but quickly transforms into a fascinating character study. Gaon, the protagonist, is not just a hero but a villain who takes pleasure in his role as a dark god in a world where he controls everything. The interesting thing is that Ains doesn't see himself as a hero. He embraces his darkness. You start rooting for a character who, at first glance, would be the last to become your favorite. The series does an exceptional job venting the issue of power and its consequences, showing that the strongest are not always the just. What about Saga of Tanya the Evil? Tanya's story is a true journey through a world at war, where a former salaryman is reborn as a young girl who must fight to survive. Tanya uses her skills and intelligence to manipulate those around her, revealing a facet of selfishness that few female protagonists possess. The series provokes deep reflections on morality and survival in times of conflict, as every skill and plan she executes comes at the cost of other lives. This twist calls into question the definition of a true hero in such a hostile setting. Another series that deserves highlight is Grimgar, Ashes and Illusions. Here, the story abandons the concept of a strong and invincible protagonist, presenting a group of friends who wake up in a fantasy world without memories of how they got there. They need to learn to fight and survive in a dangerous environment where death is a common occurrence. The series stands out for its brutal realism, where each battle has real and tragic consequences. Characters die, and the group must deal with their traumas, something that resonates with many of us. This darker, more realistic approach is a breath of fresh air for isekai fans and challenges the idea that life in a new world is always a glorious journey. Next, we'll talk about By the Grace of the Gods. Contrary to what it may seem at first glance, this is a story with an extremely disturbing background. Ryoma, the protagonist, lived a life of suffering, and the revelation of what really happened in his previous life makes the blessings he receives from the gods a bitter irony. The Earth God genuinely hoped Ryoma would become a killer, adding a layer of darkness to the narrative that cannot be ignored. The series, while largely positive and hopeful, creates a striking contrast between what seems to be a serene life and the terrible past of the hero. Now, it's time to talk about the executioner and her way of life. This series goes even further, exploring the idea that not all newcomers are welcome in a new world. Manu, the protagonist, is tasked with eliminating the lost ones, who come from Japan. What seems like a simple mission transforms into a complex moral dilemma when she finds herself close to one of these individuals. The emotional depth and her decisions bring a new perspective to the concept of heroism in fantasy, showing how difficult choices can impact not only her life but the entire world around her. And finally, Failure Frame. I became the strongest and annihilated everything with low-level spells. With a basic isekai premise, this series delves into the concept of revenge and the transformation of a character who believes he is weak but reveals himself to be immensely powerful. Mamori, the protagonist, transforms into a true dark icon, determined to enact revenge on everyone who underestimated him. The series delivers a narrative full of violence, and at times presents its scenes graphically, challenging the morality of its viewers while materializing a sharp critique of the typical dynamics of the isekai genre, which usually glorifies power unconditionally. So, everyone, these are some of the darkest and most intriguing isekai series that truly redefine the genre. Which of these series has made you most curious to watch? Leave your thoughts and your own recommendations in the comments. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel because your interaction is very important to us. Thank you very much for watching until the end. Until the next video.